Did you know America's deadliest theater disaster killed over 600 people in just 20 minutes? December 30th, 1903. Chicago's Iroquois Theater was packed with nearly 2,000 people, mostly mothers and children enjoying a holiday matinee. They were watching Mr. Bluebeard when a single stage light sparked against the painted scenery. The flames spread like lightning across the highly flammable backdrops. Actors tried desperately to calm the crowd, but someone screamed, "Fire!" and pure panic erupted. Families rushed toward the exits, only to discover the theater's deadly secret. The exit doors opened inward, trapping people as the crowd pushed forward. Fire escapes were locked. Safety features didn't exist, despite being advertised as absolutely fireproof. Bodies piled 10 feet high at blocked doorways as smoke filled the theater. 602 people died that day, most from being crushed in the stampede. The tragedy created modern fire safety codes we still use today. Local folklore claims the site remains cursed, with witnesses reporting ghostly children still searching for their mothers. Did you know 900 people died in a single day because they believed they were building paradise? In 1978, a charismatic preacher named Jim Jones convinced his followers to leave everything behind for a utopia in the jungles of Guyana. He called it Jonestown, promising freedom from racism and poverty. But when Congressman Leo Ryan arrived to investigate, he found something horrifying. Armed guards patrolled the compound. Passports were confiscated. People begged to escape. As Ryan tried to leave with defectors, Jones snapped. He ordered his followers to prepare a deadly drink laced with cyanide. Audio recordings captured the unthinkable. Mothers forced their babies to drink first, then took it themselves. Those who refused were shot or forced at gunpoint. 918 people died that day. 304 were children. When investigators arrived, they found families holding each other in death. Jones called it revolutionary suicide, but the world knew the truth. It was murder disguised as devotion. Did you know beneath Paris lies the world's largest grave, built from 6 million human bodies? In the 1700s, Paris was dying from its own dead. Overflowing cemeteries had contaminated the water supply, and rotting corpses were spreading disease through the city. The solution was unthinkable: move centuries of bodies into abandoned limestone mines beneath the streets. For years, workers dug up decomposed remains and loaded them onto carts. They transported the bones through city streets at night to avoid panic. But then something strange happened. Instead of just dumping the bones, workers began arranging them into art. They built walls of femurs topped with perfect rows of skulls, hearts made from human remains, crosses crafted from leg bones. In the crypt of the Passion, bones form religious symbols, while the barrel features skulls arranged in a perfect circle. Today, visitors walk through tunnels lined with plague victims, criminals, and ordinary Parisians, all mixed together anonymously. Illegal explorers still get lost in unmapped sections containing millions more bones. The City of Light built its foundation on a city of death. Did you know a ghost ship was found with its entire crew dead from pure terror? In 1947, multiple ships received a chilling distress call from the Orang Medan in the Strait of Malacca. The radio operator's voice crackled through the static, describing how the captain and crew were all dead. Then came the final, bone-chilling message: "I die." The rescue ship Silver Star rushed to the coordinates and found the vessel drifting silently. When the boarding party climbed aboard, they discovered a scene of absolute horror. Every single crew member was dead, their faces frozen in expressions of pure terror. Eyes wide open, mouths stretched in silent screams, arms reaching toward the sky, as if trying to ward off something invisible. As the rescue team explored the ship's hold, they felt an overwhelming sense of dread wash over them. Suddenly, a mysterious fire erupted below deck, forcing them to cut the tow lines and flee. The Orang Medan sank immediately, taking all evidence with it. The strangest part? Maritime records show no ship by that name ever existed. Did you know a single plague killed 1/3 of Europe in the most horrific way possible? In October 1347, merchant ships drifted into European ports with their crews dead at their posts. Their bodies were covered in mysterious black swellings the size of apples. Within days, the same gruesome symptoms appeared in nearby towns. Victims developed massive buboes in their groin and armpits that burst with blood and pus. Their fingers and toes turned black and rotted while they were still alive. Entire families died within hours of each other. Survivors abandoned their loved ones in the streets, too terrified to help. Bodies rotted in homes for weeks because there was no one left to bury them. Desperate people whipped themselves bloody, believing God would spare them from the plague. The living threw corpses into mass graves 20 feet deep. Entire villages were found completely empty, except for the dead. By 1351, the Black Death had changed European civilization forever. Scientists recently discovered the same plague bacteria still exists today, dormant but ready to return. Did you know Australia's deadliest creature is smaller than your fingernail and completely invisible? The Irukandji jellyfish lurks in the crystal clear waters of North Queensland, where tourists swim without knowing death surrounds them. When it stings, you feel nothing more than a mosquito bite. Most victims don't even realize what happened. But 30 minutes later, something horrifying begins. First comes an overwhelming sense of doom, like your brain knows you're about to die. Then the pain hits, full body agony that changes every few minutes, attacking different organs. The venom targets your brain directly, causing victims to literally beg doctors to end their lives. It's considered the worst pain known to medical science. Your brain starts bleeding, your heart begins failing, and the terror becomes so intense, you're convinced death is coming. There's no antidote. Some victims suffer for weeks before dying, and climate change is pushing these invisible killers into new waters where no one expects them. Did you know molasses once killed 21 people in one of history's strangest disasters? January 15, 1919, Boston's North End was buzzing with lunchtime activity. Families filled the crowded immigrant neighborhood while children played in the streets. Above them loomed a massive steel tank, 50 feet tall, holding 2.3 million gallons of molasses. Then, without warning, the tank exploded. A 25-foot wall of sticky brown molasses came racing through the streets at 35 miles per hour. People tried to run, but the thick syrup moved faster than anyone could escape. Victims became trapped, unable to move, as the molasses hardened around them in the cold air. Some were found days later, suffocated and crushed, with rescue workers helpless to reach them through the cement-like mess. The cleanup took 87,000 man-hours, and the harbor stayed brown for months. This disaster changed building codes forever, and locals swore they could still smell molasses in the area decades later. Did you know there's a blob in Chernobyl's basement that can kill you in minutes just by looking at it? In 1986, Reactor 4 exploded, creating something humanity had never seen before. Nuclear fuel, concrete, and steel melted together at 4,000 degrees, forming a deadly mass called corium. When investigators first found this elephant-shaped blob, it destroyed their cameras in seconds. The radiation was so intense that 300 seconds of exposure meant certain death within weeks. Just 1 minute near, it caused immediate radiation sickness and guaranteed death. The first person to photograph it died from radiation exposure shortly after. Later attempts required robotic cameras, but even those malfunctioned from the deadly energy. Scientists estimate this mass will remain lethal for the next 100,000 years. Today, it can still kill an unprotected human in under 10 minutes. This blob of death slowly eats through the building's foundation. No technology exists that can safely remove it. Humanity's most dangerous creation sits there, untouchable and eternally deadly. Did you know 2 men died wearing homemade lead masks on a remote hilltop and nobody knows why? On August 20th, 1966, teenagers exploring Vintém Hill in Brazil made a chilling discovery. 2 electronics technicians lay side by side in perfect business suits. Manuel Pereira da Cruz and Miguel José Viana were positioned identically, wearing crude lead eye masks. No signs of violence, no struggle, just death. In their pocket, investigators found a cryptic note that read, 1630, be at agreed place, 1830 ingest capsules. After effect, protect metals, await mass signal. The autopsy was delayed for weeks, destroying any chance of toxicology testing. Witnesses reported strange lights in the sky that very night. The men had been secretly purchasing materials to build equipment for contacting spirits. What capsules did they take? What signal were they waiting for? 60 years later, the lead mask case remains one of Brazil's most haunting unsolved mysteries. Two men died chasing something beyond our understanding.